Uh, Obviously an exciting time of the year. It seems like yesterday we were in here after the Super Regionals, which is the last time we can meet in here during the season, and here we are, opening week, just a few days away. Um, this is going to be a lot of fun, and this is an exciting time, and we're ready to kick this thing off.
What is the? Let's talk about this time of year with so many new faces and kind of how the spring has been to kind of put some guys into the puzzle piece.
It's fun for the coaching staff. I mean, it's really challenging. This program is built on developing guys, getting them to play at a high level. That All-American wall, something we're really proud of. Getting guys ready for pro ball, ready to move through a pro system. I mentioned almost $21 million in signing bonuses the last 2 years. And so this is going to be, kind of a yearly thing where we've been able to turn over a lot of guys. We got to get new guys ready to play. So I really don't want to sit behind a microphone and cry that we're young. That's the way it is. We'll play 2 to 3 juniors in the lineup every day. We'll play 5 or 6 sophomores in the lineup every day. We'll play 1 or 2 freshmen in the lineup every day. And that's what our kids want, and that's what the signees want. The new kids coming. But we feel like this group was prepared. I mean, we saw this coming down the road, and we prepared Logan Wyatt to play first base. We prepared Justin Levy to play third base. We prepared Tyler Fitzgerald to play shortstop, as well as all the other sophomores that got to play last year and got their feet wet and helped us get to Omaha, and now they get a chance to expand their role and be everyday guys.
Dan, I think you only got 3 kids who had 100 at-bats last year, so how much of an offensive overhaul is this going to be?
Coach Snyder, Coach Vrabel do an awesome job with the hitters, and you look at the trend of our program. You'd love to have a Brendan McKay, a National Freshman of the Year, but that just doesn't happen often. You'll have a couple freshman All-Americans year in and year out, but it's the sophomores. It's their time. It's their time to be everyday guys and have that breakout year, that Corey Ray breakout year, that Nick Solak breakout year. That typically it's when sophomores is that time where a lot of guys, at least our superstars in college baseball, have had the breakout years, and we're confident that this group's ready. They learned a lot last year. They played with obviously a lot of great players. They all went off in the summer leagues and had some success this summer, and then they've worked extremely hard. We've been very demanding. Toughness was our book in the summer and to start the fall, and that was physically and mentally, making sure this group was tough-minded, ready to endure the challenging schedule that we have every year, the 30 ACC games, the SEC and Big Ten schools that we get to play because of our geography, and then hopefully get ready, for obviously a challenging postseason.
Your outfield is one of the strengths of the team last year. Looking at your expected starters, Josh is the only one returning there, and you've got an Orr in there as well. What's the competition been like that, and how are they looking?
There's a lot of competition, yes. Last year that was very comforting for me as a coach. We feel like we had 4 center fielders running around out there with Lyman, Taylor, Summers, and Stores. And so now Josh is anchored down center field. He's been great. He got to play with Corey Ray and obviously Logan Taylor and those other older guys. So, he's ready. He's been a great leader, and he's the captain of the team, but he's also especially the outfielders. So, young guys. In right field, you got Elliott and Stringer, 2 sophomores that have both done a really nice job, and they'll both get opportunities this first weekend. In left field, Drew Campbell is a talented junior college outfielder that can play any one of the 3 spots, similar to Josh, as well as Oriente and Jake Snyder. So that's what the first month of the season is. These guys have earned the right to play, and they'll get the opportunity to play. And let's just mix and match and see what the best combinations are and who gets hot and who's healthy, and try to put that lineup together. You like to feel like you have it set going into the first weekend, but you also realize it's a lot different when the lights are on. You know, I can, even for me as a coach, I mean, I'm watching these other teams, Richmond and the Citadel and George Mason. I'm watching them on video, and there's a different feeling in my stomach when you start to realize, okay, man, it's on. I mean, you're about to play someone in that other dugout, and it's not meet in center field and talk about what you did right or wrong in the scrimmages. It's one team wins and one team loses. And so for me, that brings the competitive juices out. And that also makes me not get too high and not get too low on guys. Let's give them a chance in these first 10, 15 games to get their feet wet, and let's see how they do. And it's our job as coaches to coach them, get them to improve, and get them to play at a high level.
Do you think there's going to be maybe more of that tinkering than usual at the beginning of the season? I think you got a few guys last year who played 63, 64, 65 games.
Yeah, probably so. With the outfielders that are all competing for the opportunity to play, Romero is our starting catcher, so that's a new role for him. Zach Britton is a super talented freshman behind him. We got to get those two catchers. We've always done a nice job with two catchers and sometimes even three, you know, if we have to. And you know, I want to reward the guys who've earned the right to run out there and play. And you know, with only two returning starters in Stores and Mann, you know, those two still had to play well and earn their spots, and they did at a high level. But you know, the other 7 spots on the field, it's competition, and we evaluate last year, the summer, the fall, spring training, and so this group of 10 or so guys, 10, 11, 12 guys are fighting for those 7, 8 spots.
How much do you enjoy the challenge of riding the guys who were hot, mixing and matching, as opposed to plugging guys in like you have been able to in years past?
I mean, it's fun. I'm not one of those guys that, I mean, I don't sleep great during the season. It's not necessarily who should bat first and who should bat fourth. That doesn't. I don't write down 22 lineups in a day. What keeps me up at night is, you know, motivating the kids, coaching the kids, tinkering with the kids, and am I doing enough to help them succeed at a high level? And so I'm excited for the challenge. I think as a coaching staff, as a program, I mean, we addressed it. I mean, we addressed it as soon as we got back from Omaha. We addressed it in the summer, and we addressed it in our first team meeting. So if you walk out of our basement and you walk to the parking lot on that side of the building, you see the big sign, "I dare you." And that was put in for a reason, you know, that this group's being challenged. We're daring this group. You know, it's been said right now we have the longest super regional streak in the country the last 5 years. So, you know, this group is being dared. Can they make it 6 years in a row? 13 straight semesters, 6.5 years of a team GPA of a 3.0 or higher. So this group's being dared. The winningest program in all college baseball the last 4 years. So this group's being dared. And when I say this group, me as well. Like what I like about motivating our players is the challenge is for me too. The challenge is for myself and our coaching staff and this entire program that we want to keep this going. And it's not easy. It's not easy to do, and we don't take it for granted. And so we want to keep an edge about us and make sure that we're doing everything in our power to help this program continue to move forward.
You always talk about the rotation and having guys waiting in the wings. You had a bunch of guys competing for the weekend. How did it kind of shake out to where you landed on the 3?
It was very healthy. And, you know, Wolf, Thompson, and Jenkins will start this opening weekend. But, you know, as a coaching staff, knowing you have Nick Bennett, who's a freshman All-American last year, and Nick just didn't pitch all fall. He's only thrown in 2 scrimmages. So, in fairness, he's only thrown 5 innings in the last 8 months. You know, Brian Hoeing is a super talented pitcher who was competing for one of those spots. And he'll get his opportunities. And then Reed Detmers, you know, is a really talented freshman that we felt that those 6 guys, and there's probably others, but those 6 guys were fighting for those 3 spots. And as Coach Williams met with those guys and talked to them, it's just the first weekend. Those midweek games are tough. So whoever's starting the midweek games, I mean, that's where Cade McClure made his start and had an All-American year there. And when you look at the schedule right out of the chute, you got Eastern Kentucky at home. So you got these in-state rivals. You got Morehead State at home. You got Xavier at home. You know, Morehead State was in our regional a few years ago. Xavier was in the regional finals last year. And then, of course, you got Texas Tech, you know, a super regional team. And so, you know, even those, just because you're not starting on the weekend, man, that fourth and fifth starters are huge in college baseball. And obviously we all have the utmost confidence and trust in Coach Williams will get these guys ready and make sure that they're healthy and they're competing and they're giving us a chance to win.
Dan, kind of a two-part question. Tom Jurich was such a great supporter of this program, and you guys are still close, I'm assuming. What's it going to be like this season, you know, without him in the role he's been in? And then also, what have your interactions been like with Vince Tyree?
Yeah, you know, I think when Tom was let go this fall, you know, I made it very clear to the team, what do we challenge our kids to do? Leave this place better than when you found it. And if anybody showed us that, it was Tom Jurich. And he poured his heart and soul into this athletic program and into our baseball program, and he left it in great shape. So as I know he would want us to succeed and to continue moving forward. As soon as Vince got here, he walked out to the field. He met with the baseball team. I'm sure it's always comforting when players know that he played baseball and he lived this college experience, and he was one win away from going to Omaha. And hearing his story is very comforting, I know, to our players and our program. So, you know, he's competitive and he's going to support us. And, you know, again, you lose Brendan McKay, you don't want to take a step back. And you lose a Tom Jurich, yeah, I mean, we don't want to take a step back. And that's a credit to those guys. But that's what happens in our program every year, that we lose great players, and we want to keep this thing going.
On that note, the new AD has talked about continuing the expansion and improvements at Patterson Stadium. What's the latest on that?
Yeah, we met briefly, and we'll meet again in a couple of weeks. I think right now our number one priority was a pro locker room. We've got 36 guys currently playing professional baseball, and we want to be able to house them. And Aaron and Ashley Flaker gave the lead gift for that. So we'd like to get the pro locker room done. The expansion talks have been going on for a couple years, and I haven't had a chance to sit down with Vince in length, but obviously there's been a foundation, there's been ideas thrown out there, and I'm anxious to see what he thinks we should do. I'm obviously going to give my opinion as where we can help this facility and this program. So, you know, I'm confident that, you know, we'll continue to move forward and make sure we continue to make this one of the best places in the country to play college baseball.
Talk about Adam Wolf. Why Friday night on the opening weekend for him?
You know, Wolf has been it's a little bit like a Chad Green scenario. Chad was kind of a bullpen guy and was so valuable early in his career. And you got to have those guys in the fifth or sixth or seventh inning in a weekend series, and that's the swing game. You're going to win that game or win the series based on an inning or two somewhere in one of those games. And Coach Williams, you know, used Adam in that role. A big left-hander. He was first out if it was the Friday game or the Saturday game. And so he just continued to work, continued to improve his breaking ball stuff. And I think for Coach Williams it was, you want to make sure a guy can turn over the lineup. You want to make sure a guy can get through the lineup 2 times. Then let's see if he can get through the lineup 3 times. And we just wanted to give Adam that opportunity. And he did that. He did that with passing colors all fall and into the spring training. And he's a captain. He's been thrown to the fire, as I like to say. As a freshman, I can remember running him out of the bullpen on a Friday night against Virginia with runners on base. I mean, it's just in the Cape Cod League this summer, he was super valuable for Chatham. And, you know, he's ready. He's worked his tail off. He's super talented, and he's one of the high-profile pitchers, if you call it that pro baseball is rightfully so very interested in. You know, there's a group of 5 or 6 of those guys that are going to be fun for those pro guys to follow.
What about Sam Bordner? What have you seen from him this offseason?
just to continue to improve and settle in that closer role. He was such a great bridge to Lincoln Hensman. You know, Hensman was the bridge to Birdie, and Bordner was able to bridge to Hensman last year. And so Sam is also a captain, continues to work hard, has improved his body. You know, he's like we use the phrase, be professional. And he's the epitome of that. Man, he takes great pride in being prepared and running out there. So we feel really good. Sam, you know, what a streak he had down the postseason. Those numbers were video game like, and that just doesn't happen in college baseball, especially against the NCAA teams, the best teams in the country. So Austin Conway will kind of be the bridge to Bordner. Austin Conway was a terrific pitcher at Indiana State, and he graduated. He's in our law school. Really neat story. I've never coached a kid in law school. And you got to be super bright, but you got to have a ton of self-discipline too to manage your time and get all that reading in and all that work he's doing in law school. So he had a really good fall, very good spring. And he could be that Bordner type where Bordner could close if we needed him to last year. Conway looks like he can close if we need him to. And I'm sure early in the year, Coach Williams, he does a phenomenal job of not overusing guys and giving guys opportunities. You know, Brendan McKay's got a save. Well, I guess he might have got a win in relief, but, you know, McKay started out of the bullpen, and we used McKay to close a couple years ago when Birdie was not 100%. So you got to have guys step up. You know, I mentioned 6 or so guys in this meeting, but, you know, we feel like we got 10 to 12 that are really going to contribute.
Devin Mann's a guy you're looking to have step up, and not only at the plate and in the field, but also as a leadership role. What's he shown you since the season ended, you know, taking that responsibility?
I think when you get to this point of your career, it's you trust the process and your preparation. You could see the confidence he has in what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He believes in what he's doing. And when you have that, it's a lot easier to talk to the younger guys. And so if you've watched our scrimmages, or I'm sure you'll see it during the games, I mean, he's always talking to the younger hitters. You know, that's what you love about the older players. You know, we use the phrase from Dr. Elko, the front of the room has to lead the back of the room. The front of the room are the leaders, are the older guys. I mean, you know, I tease the players and the coaches at times, you know, where I can't do everything, you know, like I can't do everything. Like we need guys to help, everybody to help. And but nothing's more valuable than older players coaching younger players. And Devin is one of those. He's our extra coach right now on the field. And you could see him pouring into the infielders, and you could see him pouring into the hitters.
Any significant rule changes?
We got a little more with video replay, so there's a few more options where we can use the video like we've used in the postseason, and we're going to be able to take advantage of that. You know, we're trying to improve the pace of play in college baseball, and a couple leagues have pitch clocks, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. The ACC is experimenting with an earpiece this year. So like a quarterback has an earpiece and the offense coordinator can call the play, a catcher can have an earpiece and the pitching coach can call the pitch. Now that's only in ACC games. The SEC also has that. And, you know, we're trying, just like MLB's doing. Pace of play is a hot topic. You know, we got to keep the fans engaged. We got to get this game under 3 hours and maximize our TV slots. And I mean, I've always said it. You know, what makes the Kentucky game a great game is there's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 fans. So you got to keep the fans happy, and I don't blame them. They want some quicker games, and we could do our part. I mean, we could. There's definitely things we can do, and MLB's experimenting, and college baseball's experimenting to speed it up a little.
And Kendall Rogers wrote a feature about members of the ABCA meeting with Commissioner of Baseball, and you were part of those meetings.
Yeah.
What did you take away from those meetings?
Man, that was really cool to go to New York City, meet with Rob Manfred and his staff. I was blown away. I was blown away by his support of college baseball, and what he's trying to do to help college baseball. And I was very intrigued by, he's trying to make changes for the betterment of the game. And that's the thing about baseball. We can't be afraid to make changes. We can't. I don't care that they did it 50 years ago. That doesn't mean it's right. That's we have a baseline in foul territory and a base in fair territory. But a guy gets called for running out of the baseline, yet the base is not in line with the base path. It's like things I just scratch my head. Why? Because we've done that for 50 years. I think it's ridiculous. They changed the catcher rule at home plate, which they should have when Buster Posey got hurt. They've improved the slide rule at second. My take, I played football. If you're that tough, play football. Slide straight into the base. Really, I don't know where you get the macho because you could slide 10 feet off the base and try to take out somebody's legs. I don't see. Well, we did it 50 years ago. Well, it was a stupid rule, my opinion. Really. So what I left there excited about was they're on the cutting edge. There's things that we can do to improve the game. Improve the game. Why wouldn't we want to improve the game? We say it's the greatest game in the world. So I was super psyched that he was all about college baseball. He's trying to partner with college baseball. They're trying to do things at the big league level, minor league level, and so are we to help the great game of baseball. So I think it's our part as ambassadors of the game. I think it's our part. I hope we can get the NCAA on board. I think from leaving the MLB office, my thought was, wow, college baseball wants this. Hopefully ADs want this and commissioners want this. MLB wants this. NCAA needs to get on board because this is the right thing to do. And that's a whole nother topic with scholarships and minority opportunities and things of that nature that we need to address. There's things we can improve college baseball and improve the lives of these young men and give them an opportunity. So hopefully they listen because I think we're going to make some headway the next couple of years.
Yep, time for one more. How are you feeling about starting your second decade here?
Man, that makes me sound old. I didn't. When you say second decade, it's when you're having fun, time flies. So for me, it doesn't seem like a long time. This is it feels like yesterday. I was coaching Boomer Whiting and Dan Burton and Tristan Magnuson and Chris Cates and Logan Johnson and if I don't say everybody's name, I'm going to offend somebody. But that first group in 07, it's amazing how time has flown. And I like saying those names, and I love talking about the players of the past, and I love pointing out to All-American Walk because it's about them. It's not about me. This is about them. So it's been a lot of fun, and these guys have built this program, and I'm excited about this group, and that's why I dare this group to do their part to uphold what's going on here, this decade or so of really good college baseball, and so we're excited. We're up for the challenge.
Dan, I noticed the Todd on your shirt. How on your hat? How difficult has it been this preseason without Todd, and kind of talk about the season?
It'll be harder during the season. I haven't fully felt the effects yet, because. Not that Todd he was around in the fall and he was around, but there were times where, he would do his thing and when we were out of season. But once the season started, that's where it's going to get me. And if you look around, you'll start to see the wallpaper we have. So when everybody walks up the steps, every time when they take the field, they'll see that big picture of Todd because he would sit right there in the scouting reports and everybody would give him a fist or touch him on the shoulder or the head, and then we'll have a plaque right behind our dugout. And of course, we got his name on all of our hats because so there's going to be some really tough moments, and there'll be some sad moments because we're going to miss him. But hopefully, there'll also be some celebration as well that we'll celebrate his life and what he meant to our program. Thanks for asking.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Get Josh and Devin in here so that they can go. All right, we've only got like 10 minutes tops with these guys because I got to get them out of here. So we'll just start firing away, try to move through it.
How excited are you guys for Friday night? I'd say we're really excited. Everybody on the team's just really pumped up to get the season started. I also think we're just getting a little bit tired of playing against each other. So seeing some new faces in the opposing dugout is just going to be a good feeling for us.
Speaking of new faces, Devin, it's kind of new faces all around the locker room. What's the transition been like, and for you guys to become leaders, and then with those young guys in the locker room?
You play with guys last year like Ellis McKay, and then now being in the position that Josh and I are in now, you gotta kind of mold the younger guys and to be able to get ready to play. Obviously, we're younger, gonna have a lot of guys playing this year, so just making sure everyone's ready.
You guys have to prepare yourselves mentally at all to know maybe it's not going to go as smooth as it appeared to go last year when you got so many young guys playing?
I don't think there's going to be any problems. I think we can be just as good as we were last year. There's just question marks the same going into the season last year, and we just continue to prove everybody wrong. So I have the greatest confidence going into the season opener.
On that note, Coach McDonald's put out that message that they're daring you guys to reach that. As players, what does that mean when you hear the coaches saying we dare you?
It's just try and reach our full potential this year. We might be young, and you might have a lot of people doubting us, but we know inside of here that we're really talented. We've worked really hard, and we know that we're going to go some special places this year.
What is the strongest thing or the best thing that Dan has done to get you guys ready for the season?
I would say he's challenged us a lot more. Obviously, with losing a lot of leadership, especially a lot of older guys and only, I think, 2 seniors and a 5th year. He's just challenged us and put more of a role on our shoulders to just talk to the younger guys and just ask them how they're feeling, just even outside of baseball, and just make sure that obviously the older guys know what to do in practices, but just taking some younger guys under our wings and showing them the ropes so everything can go a lot more smoother.
Does that help you guys continue the run that you've been on? Is that one of the reasons why you've been able to be so consistent?
Yeah, I would say for my freshman year, there's guys that took me under their wing, and just as the older you get, you see how it helps you. And I know I've talked to a bunch of younger guys who've been struggling from time to time, and just knowing and seeing their reactions, you can tell that it's better to hear advice coming from a player than a coach because you can relate better.
Josh, on that note, you've got new guys on both sides of you in the outfield. What's that like for you, that transition? Not only to getting used to new players, but also from a leadership perspective.
Just being the older guy, obviously you got to show them things that from last year, like that Logan and Colin probably didn't need to show me. I like it. They've getting better every single day, especially from the first day of fall up until now. All the outfielders who have been out there have gotten tremendously better. And I don't see any issues coming up in the season opener, so I think we'll be good out there.
Devin, you've been against him all fall and in the spring. What makes Adam Wolf a Friday night starter for this team?
I think it's just the movement and how he attacks guys. He's worked really hard, and he's really embraced the role of being that number 1 for us. Adding that cutter, and he's just very consistent. You always know what you're going to get with him, and he's just got that mentality that makes him a really good starter.
For both you guys, when you're used to hitting 2nd, 7th, 8th, 9th, anything like that, when you go to 3rd, 4th, 5th, what's the biggest adjustment now you have to make to the plate?
For me, I'll be hitting leadoff, so it's a bit of a different role from being at the bottom of the order. I just know I have to set the tone, and I just feel like that's something that I can do, especially with being able to steal bases. And I kind of like the leadoff role, so I think it'll be something good for us this year.
I think it's just wherever you're at in the lineup, Coach Mack has just made it aware to you that you've got to produce wherever you're at, and wherever you're at in the lineup doesn't really matter. I think you're just gonna do your thing and do what you've done all year.
How much pressure is associated with that? And you guys have won 50 games in 4 of the last 5 years.
I don't really think there's a lot of pressure this year at all. I think we have a young team, and people might be doubting us, but there's no pressure from inside our locker room. We've prepared really well. We've worked really hard, and we know that whatever we do, we've earned this year. So we're just going to go out and play our game.
Where do you notice the most that guys like McKay and Ellis aren't around anymore? Where do you kind of look around and feel their absence?
I don't really go through practice and say, dang, I wish they were here. Guys come and go every single year, and we don't really look to cherish the memories. Everybody wants to make their own mark. the 2017 team did their thing, and this 2018 team wants to do their own thing.
Anything else?
What individual skills did you guys work on this summer?
I think for me it was just it's worked out being a more consistent hitter, more consistent infielder. Consistency is just something that'll help me and help everyone else, and I think that's something that we've worked on this offseason.
For me personally, just for defensive purposes, me in the center field this year, just made an effort to work on my jumps and getting better reads. And offensive-wise, same thing with Devin, just being consistent, especially with us being at the top of the order. We're going to have more of a role put on us, and just being consistent, being guys that the coaches can count on is just going to take a sigh of relief.
You got to bunt more, or?
No, I won't be. I won't be bunting too much unless they give it to me. But I want to get on base and steal bags, and I feel like I'm confident enough in my hitting ability that I won't need to bunt too much.
Josh, that's a role. I mean, I know you. You've been around a couple of years. You know the history, but that's a role that some really good guys have been in. What's it feel like to be given that opportunity?
It just shows the amount of trust that the coaches have in me this year, and they just trust that I'm going to set the tone and get on base and provide the spark plug that we may need at some point if we're down, or just to get the game started off with a bang.
Devin, Coach described you as an extra coach on the field. What's it mean to you, and what's it really entail to be that extra coach when you're out on the field?
It's just trying to help the younger guys. I think there's definitely been a gap in terms of the younger guys and the older guys, and being so young, and with me and Josh being the two returners that are coming back, it's just trying to coach the guys through it and making sure that everyone is up to speed. And I think with us coaching the younger guys makes us better players too. So I think it's just making sure that they're up to speed and they're able to play this year.
Are we good? All right. Questions for Adam and Sam?
Adam, what's it like? I mean, it's something you work for to be the Friday night guy. When Raj told you get the ball Friday this week, what's that mean to you? What did that mean, that conversation?
I guess it's an honor more than anything. I mean, on our staff, we have a handful of guys that are more than capable of throwing on Friday night here and a lot of places in the country. So just getting to have that opportunity is just an incredible honor.
Dan was in here talking about how you're ready for this. You've worked your tail off to get to this point. Just talk about the process for you and what the last couple of years have been like and to get here now.
I guess Coach Mack always talks about a growth mindset and just every day just trying to improve on something. And that's been I guess almost a little tougher when you're a freshman, but having guys to look up to, Lincoln Hensman, Zach Birdie, Jake Sparger, those guys are a huge impact on all of us.
For both of you guys, how excited are you for Friday night to get the season underway?
I'm unbelievably excited. It's a little different coming in as an upperclassman than as an underclassman. Feel a little bit more responsibility and everything, but yeah, I'm very excited to do all this.
As am I. I just can't wait. I've been thinking about it for the last 8 months.
It's been a long 8 months.
Yeah.
Sam, you've been picking up some preseason accolades, All-American accolades, getting chosen for the Stopper of the Year watch list. What do those type of things mean to you?
I mean, it's pretty awesome that I get all these, but truly they don't really mean anything other than they're just a preseason accolade. It's about all of what I do during the season and all the accolades afterwards. But these are all personal, and this is a team sport. So that's the biggest thing right now, is just playing as a team instead of as single or individual players.
Coach Mack mentioned Austin Conway is probably going to be the setup guy for you. He's kind of an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you guys might even call him Grandpa. What's he meant to your staff, and what do you like about him setting you up?
I love Austin. He's one of those guys that you can just joke around about, and he'll joke right back with you. But his experience is a key in this program right now. It seems like we have a lot of older pitchers and then some younger inexperienced pitchers as of now. So having that little bit of experience in the back of the bullpen, which is Coach Williams' pride and glory or pride and joy for that. So.
Sam, what Birdies and Hensman, the closers in this program have been so good. What's it mean to you to be that guy that they trust to close games?
It's awesome. It's an awesome feeling knowing that I get to follow the shoes of Zach and Lincoln like that. Obviously, I got some big shoes to fill because they were both phenomenal pitchers. But it's an honor being in the same position as they were.
Tim, how can you try to capitalize on the run you had in the postseason last year? Sort of bring that momentum over to New Year.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How do you sort of build on the momentum that you built in the postseason last year?
I mean, it was a great run last year. I mean, a lot of the guys, obviously on this team right now, went to the Omaha, so they can use that memory to kind of jump forward into this and try to get back there so they can relive that memory once again. And then with the younger guys, we can just push them so that they can endure that run like we did last year too.
What would you say you guys worked on the most individually in the off season, whether it was a mechanical tweak or anything like that?
I guess worked on a new pitch. I guess worked on a cutter in the off season. I guess for both of us, I guess off the field we had to work on becoming leaders. Because we don't have many seniors, as you guys know, we have 3 seniors on our team right now. So we had to work on becoming better leaders, having to be able to lead the pitching staff, be able to show them what it's like to be a pitcher as a Louisville Cardinal.
For me, it was just to get better at my secondary pitches. It seemed like in the last spring, that's pretty much all I had working on me was just a fastball. But I really worked hard on my changeup and my slider a lot. And my overall strength was a big key for me that I feel like I needed to work on also.
Adam, it seemed like every time Dan would talk, he kind of, I don't know if he hinted that you would be the guy. He was confident that you were going to be one of the guys on the weekend, even from the end of last year. What was the competition like with the other guys behind you? Now that he named Riley and Liam, what was that competition like with those 6, as he said, were really going at it?
I mean, we're competing, but we're all competing for the same goal: is to put out the best rotation we have, the best. I guess just have people in the roles where they can shine, as Coach Williams says. He says he wants to put people where they're going to have success, and so I guess throughout the spring and the fall scrimmages, it was fun. It was a fun time.
And one of the new faces is Liam, as Jody just mentioned. For those that haven't seen him, he's a guy that came up from junior college. What's impressive about him?
He's a huge kid. That's the first thing. He's like 6'7", so
Says the 6'6" guy.
yeah. but he's a monster on the mound. So he's got a heavy fastball, a lot of downward angle. I mean, he's tough for kids to hit. Like if you watch him, he's tough for guys to square up. So it's fun to watch.
Did you mentioned adding a cutter? How did that process go? Did you work with someone on that, and then how'd it go?
I guess I kind of just was sitting around in summer ball. I figured while I have some time to work on my pitches, might as well try to pick up a new one. And looked up a video on how Mariano Rivera throws his, and just kind of just went off that. Just played with some feel. So, but I like it a lot. So I'm excited.
How's it going so far? How would I guess you roll it out in a game, or how often would you use it?
I use it quite a bit in the spring scrimmages. Coach Williams likes to call it. So
It's filthy.
Thank you, Sam.
I can't catch it on the flat grounds that he throws me. He always hits me right in the palm, and I yell at him for it.
He does. That's true.
Anything else from these two?
Sam, if you changed your appearance, did you have blonde hair?
Yeah, I'm pretty much starting over. I started out with short hair last season, so now I'm just kind of starting. It's still a little here. Not as much blonde. I got all the blonde off of it.
I miss it.
Guys, from both of you, Dan was talking about when you walk out, Todd's picture there, you got it on the hat. What's the emotion like without him around as you start the season?
I mean, we're missing a Louisville Cardinal forever. Like he's the #1 fan, as everyone knows. He was on the staff. I mean, we notice it every day. We miss him, but it's just an honor being able to know that he's up there. He's watching down. He's cheering for us. Just 1 out, 1 inning.
Yeah.
1 out, 1 inning.
Anything else? All right. Let's go get a YouTube video and learn to throw a cutter.